Here we go. UFC Vegas 101. Dern versus Ribas 2. All right, and hey, we're opening up with the main card. You know how this goes. And it is a $2,000 bankroll. $2,000 bankroll. All right, it's what we're opening up with the year. It's 1% of your gross income. Okay, Google that or chat GPT that shit if you don't understand it. 1% of your gross income. And the betting strategies at Pro Schmo are percentage only. All right, so what we do is in between the first, second quarter of the year, maybe even the first quarter of the year, the last quarter of the year, after we build up a bankroll, we hit something on a shift. Okay, so initially we're on percentages. So for this fight card, we're putting 50% of our entire account on Mackenzie Dern. 50% on Mackenzie Dern. And in between first, second, third, fourth quarter, we will have outlier positions, meaning we take the entire bankroll and slam it on one fighter. All right, think about it like a crazy sponsorship. All right, it's got to be great. All right, we've done it in the past many times with Weili Zhang, with Marlon Vera, with Francis Marshall this year. We've done it. This is what it's pretty much what gives a name to Pro Schmo, besides being one of the best handicappers for women's MMA in the space. Now, hey, check it out. So it might not be appealing to you, right, to bet on these percentages. 50% Mackenzie Dern, and if you visit us at proschmobets.com, you'll learn about what other hits, okay, for this fight card, UFC Vegas 101. All right, but take a look at this, and home of picks, home of fight, whatever the domain handle, whatever the .com. I'm just giving you this example because this is what someone sent to me. DMs. Got this, and I read it, looked through it, and heard a piece from this host, and I think that's great. Some of you like doing that. You like throwing a few units from your 100-unit bankroll, and you like to make a few units every fight card. To make 20 units a year or 100 units, I think it's great. It's good. But I think that, for the time you invest in, on Saturdays and to make it worthwhile, I really think, percentages are where to go. I think the outlier betting system, the Pro Schmo outlier betting system is the way to go. All right, we're going to open up with Dern and Ribas. Listen, if you have not figured out yet, all right, if you have not figured out that Mackenzie Dern is going to face Jillian Robertson here soon, I don't know what else to tell you guys, all right? Ribas is not a strawweight. If Rose Namajunas moved up from strawweight to flyweight, what makes you think that Amanda Ribas is a strawweight? She's as tall as the trees against Mackenzie Dern facing any of these females. And when Mackenzie Dern faces Jillian Robertson, she will defeat her too. All right, folks, I understand that Mackenzie Dern appeared sloppy in her first fight with Amanda Ribas, but her striking, unfortunately, she couldn't align a shot selection that would complement her grappling, right? And that's not the case anymore. Mackenzie Dern's had like 4 or 5 fights since then, and she's looking so much better. She's with Jason Perillo at the Ruka gym with Chito Vera and also the incredible Tatsuro Taira, believe it or not. All right, we're going to move on. Next fight we have Santiago Ponzinibbio, Carlston Harris. Hey, listen, Santiago Ponzinibbio, man, this guy is way too old. That's it. Way out of this. And by that I mean that the man has had, this tenure as a commentator that I think has worn him down, right? So if you're not lubing the joints on your body consistently, you'll have problems. Carlston Harris has a luta livre background. This guy is practiced in many forms of martial arts. I think he's got the fight in the bag. I love the odds here for Carlston Harris, and I hope the public continues to, slam Santiago Ponzinibbio. We'll move on. Here we go. Abdul Razak Alzan. I like this guy, man, to win this fight. Man. Judo, he practices judo. Cesar Almeida does very well off the fence with takedown defense. Abdul's cardio starts to faint in round 2. Cesar Almeida can take a few hits. I mean, this is a great fight. This is a great fight. This could go either way. Do I see a finish here? I think that once Abdul starts to test Cesar Almeida's chin and realizes, man, this guy has good counters or he could take a hit, I think Abdul's going to want to slow down. Hopefully, we could get a good takedown and, Abdul could win this fight. If Caesar's down middle of the octagon, he could win this fight. All right, I like Abdul Razak Hazan on the money line. If you guys got the spread on DraftKings.com, do that. I think that's great. All right, Chris Curtis, Roman Kopylov. Man, Chris Curtis he has a gas tank. It's like facing Jack Hermanson all over again over here with Roman Kopylov. Uh, yeah, man. I mean, 37 years of age. I'm going Roman Kopylov. Chris Curtis. I understand and you guys know what his boxing is like. His takedown defense, I don't think Roman Kopylov is taking down Chris Curtis whatsoever. But Chris Curtis has attempted to blow the whistle on the UFC. I don't think the UFC is fond of him. So there's so many spots on this card you can slam. And I think Roman Kopylov is one of those. All right. So, yeah, moving on next. Chris Curtis, sayonara. Austin Bashi, Christian Rodriguez. Man, Austin Bashi, as soon as he takes Christian Rodriguez's back, it's over. If he mounts him on top, it's over. If Austin finds Christian Rodriguez in that octagon on the ground, it's over. Christian Rodriguez can only defend so much against the wall. I think that Christian Rodriguez will be a top 5 fighter. He may even fight for the championship belt one day, but dyeing your hair blonde and defending takedowns against the wall, clinching, and not really working on your cardio so that you can strike your opponents to oblivion is not going to work out. You saw with Isaac Dalgarian, it was a great fight. I think Christian Rodriguez did win. People think it was a robbery. Absolutely not. Isaac Dalgarian, he was gassed up at the end of the fight. Christian Rodriguez has had cardio issues through the wazoo. Austin Bashi here on the money line, and I'm confident, believe it or not. I wouldn't even take the spread. I think Christian Rodriguez is getting submitted. Punel Soriano, man. Punel moved down to welterweight, and all of a sudden he's a wrestler. It's incredible. He's finally seeing dividends when it comes to, his wrestling days in Iowa. Division 3, okay, no problem. But this is Iowa. When he was, attempting takedowns as a middleweight, it was a bit challenging for him. With Uruz Medic, I think he will succeed. Uruz is way too big for the weight class, man. I think he even bullied the folks, bullied fighters at lightweight at some point. I think he had a stint there. So as a welterweight, Uruz is huge, man. This guy's big. Man, I like Punel Soriano here on the money line. I like Soriano on the money line. Any body work on Uruz. Punel would have to be careful with the jab, and then hopefully he could get a takedown and win around that way. That would be great. All right, let's move on to the prelims. All right, Jose Johnson against Felipe Bunez. I like Jose Johnson, man. I like Jose Johnson. This guy's got good striking. Felipe Bunez, okay, 35 years of age. Come on, folks. I mean, he could get it done. Don't get me wrong. Oh, man, I don't know, man. Submission, decision guy in Felipe or the knockout artist in Jose. I'm taking Jose. I'm taking Jose on the money line. I like his striking. Marco Tulio Silva. I mean, guys, Ior Pretoria has been doing what he can. But I think at age 28, he's still, working out the things that he should. All right, the wrinkles to his game, like they say. And Marco Tulio Silva is here to, take a few shots, absorb a few shots, and make something happen here. I think it's a decision win. I think Ior Pretoria loses a close decision here, and that's all she wrote. All right, we're moving on. Thiago Moises, Trey Ogden. Listen, American Jiu-Jitsu, Trey Ogden versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thiago Moises. Trey Ogden, exercising his Jiu-Jitsu is difficult for him against an opponent like Thiago Moises because what they do is they set up traps on contingent needs. Okay, this American Jiu-Jitsu finds it as like a plan B, plan C. And most of the time, you end up on your back and you're trying to work off your back to submit someone. It's successful to a degree. Whereas Thiago Moises has his jiu-jitsu as part of his entire striking arsenal. So um, I like Thiago Moises here. Last three fights, he's held 90% of the betting splits. There's no way I cannot not bet Thiago Moises here uh, against a 35-year-old Trey Ogden. Thiago Moises is no chump. Let's move on. If you guys want the bets, proschmobets.com. Preston Parsons, Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith, man, I think this is going to be a showcase of striking here for Jacoby. And Preston Parsons, we know, relies on his grappling heavily. I think Jacoby Smith will, help Preston Parsons with, I guess, striking, and he gets the job done that way. I think this goes over as well. And if you tell me he could catch Preston could catch Jacoby with a gill, I don't think so. Absolutely not. He ain't doing it. Ernesta Karakady versus Nicole Cagliari. Hey, listen, Ernesta, man, she's got the reach. She's a good striker. I think that Ernesta at a distance could get this fight, and she can win this fight. I'd like to see her fight Juliana Miller. That'd be great. All right, so we'll take Ernesta Karakaychik on the money line. Magomed Ghazi, Bruno Lopez. I'm taking Bruno Lopez, man, for shits and giggles. I'd take him on the spread. Believe that. All right. Next, we got Victoria Dudakova. Man, Fatima Klein. The reason why her odds are moving, everybody's making a fuss about that. They're like, how you taking a minus 900 when she was a minus 200? Very simple, folks. So, before the end of the year, UFC Tampa, people were parlaying her, okay? During this whole 30-day break, everybody was parlaying her. Why? Because adjacent to Erin Blanchfield in New Jersey, who just defeated Rose Namajunas, is Fatima Klein. All right? Fatima Klein, I believe, will be champion one day, folks. She will be champion. Believe me, she will be champion. On the money line. Guaranteed over here. Crazy. And then we have Joe Solecki and Aliev. Hey, I'd really like to see, Joe get some work done on Aliev, especially Aliev coming back with a fractured leg. But that's not the case, man. Joe's going to get dominated here. He absorbs too many hits. Aliev with a simple jab. Joe Solecki absorbs too many hits. It's not going to be a good day for him. All right, guys, so there you go. There you have it. Mackenzie Dern, Ribas 2. If you want the bets, proschmobets.com. You heard it here first.